And so the picture that we're gonna get here is a very nice picture, I think. The quality on the printer is, I think it makes awesome printings. I mean, I think it's a great printer. I mean, even though it takes some time and you can't compare it to a laserjet printer, but I mean, still, it's a cheap printer and it prints great, I think. And so this is a borderless printing. As you can see, it's no white border. There's no white border around it. So, and notice now that it takes some time to print this. It's kind of slow work here because I chose the matte photo paper. So the test is more the difference if I use the same kind of thick paper, which is almost a photo paper. I mean the paper itself, but in the program I choose plain paper, but exactly the same physical paper. So I've already printed some photos. I printed this one before because I think the colors is good for comparing stuff. Yeah, so that's the printing here with the program. I chose matte photo paper. The paper itself is matte photo paper. It's a little bit thicker than plain paper. As you can see, the colors is pretty good. And yeah, so I don't want to waste any time here. So I go ahead and do the same thing, but with plain paper in the media type in my program. So I go ahead and do that now. I use exactly the same settings here, but I use plain paper in the rear tray. That's this one here. And I choose borderless printing. And so, yeah. It's amazing. I mean, this is a very, very good print, I think. The depth of the picture is amazing. So, oops, there we go. So, in the program, this is for matte paper. And now I have I choose the plain paper in the program, and you see how much faster it prints. So that's the interesting. I maybe it uses more color on this one because I choose the matte photo paper, and I used plain paper for this one, so it used less ink. You see, I mean, this is almost done now. It is done. So I think it's a little bit wet. No, it's not. Okay, so now I got two pictures here. They may seem to be exactly the same, but they are not. As you can see, the first one is a little bit darker, just around the areas here. And if you take a look on the grass here, it's kind of dark. Yeah, compare that to this one, you can see the difference. This one is much more lighter. and you see the sky there. It's pretty much the same. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the sky are a little bit darker on this one, and there is more purple in the clouds here. And if you can take a look at the elephant itself, you can see that this one is more, you can see the details a lot better than this one. This one is darker than this one. So, and you see here, you can see it clearly here, the difference between this one and this one. So, I'm not really sure, but I think it's, and you can see now, the sky, I mean it's a big difference there. I'm not really sure why it is like this, but it's very important, I think, to choose the right paper, the media type in the program, depending on what physical paper sheets you're using. In my case, I used matte photo paper in my program for this one, and for this one I chose plain paper. So plain paper is pretty much regular printing paper for text, but I still used a physical, exactly the same photo paper as I used for the first one. And you see the difference. So if anyone have something to comment about this, just drop me a line in the comment box below there. I find this kind of very interesting because I think this one is more ink than this one, so that's why this one is it's more light in it. Yeah, so there you go. See you soon.